Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the press. This is Comrade Kennedy Iyere back here, addressing a press conference. Special recognition is hereby given to our very dear brother, friend, and the winner of the recently conducted presidential poll, His Excellency Peter Obi. And all the obedience around the world, my gratitude to you for standing up for democracy, justice, fairness, equity, competency, and capacity. The Obidient brand was created and built on those tenets. Democracy means freedom of choice, the liberty to decide who rules you. It is not a stereotyped phenomenon. Hence, when we formed the Obidient Movement, the quest to have the best rule of governance was our target. Nigeria got bastardized and placed into economic and social quagmire because over time we have allowed quacks to take over the leadership of one of the greatest nations on earth, called Nigeria. Angry people came together, regardless of religious affiliations, political party affiliation, ethnic sentiments, gender sentiments, but bonded in one purpose, and that purpose is to ensure that we create a new Nigeria where the very best will lead the rest. The way it works in developed democracies or developed climes. One of the few persons who actually put up this very package, which is today known as the Obidient Movement or Revolution, was myself, Comrade Kennedy Iyere. As far back as 2017, we started the preparation towards 2023 with our focus on equity, meaning that we expected the president to be elected in 2023 to come from the southeastern region. The Afenifere group can attest to that. The Middle Belt Forum can attest to that. The Pan-Niger Delta Forum can attest to that. Even the Arewa, because the very chairman of the Arewa Consultative Forum, Audu Ogbe, had hosted me in his house in the villa not fewer than 4 times. And he made it known to me that he was in support of power rotation. Thanks to you, sir. Now, eventually we were able to bet the Obidient Revolution. The Obidient Movement became Obidient Movement as a name because of the things we saw in the man we were going to adopt as our presidential candidate. Several groups actually collapsed into one umbrella of apex body, translating to what is today called the Obidient Revolution. Because we saw in Obi a man of good character who had led as a governor. He was never probed, and none of his commissioners was ever arrested. As men and women of the press, I think you should jam your hands for him. He saved the money while other people were stealing money. He saved up to 75 billion. No governor ever attained that feat. But we saw he had no presence or no chance, no opportunity in the PDP to vie to be elected as the next president of Nigeria. We adopted him unanimously. Labour Party was not his first party of choice. He had wanted to come under the ADC. Professor Patutomi and the rest people, including Falana, tried to merge some other alternative parties together. But you know, for some reason, it didn't materialize. So he couldn't fly under the ADC. We all knew what happened when he approached Consult under the NNPP. Then eventually he got into Labour. So that now justifies the fact that Labour was not even a factor at all. We were not particular about any party, but we were particular about the person and personality of whom we really wanted. And Peter fell into that category. We demystified what they call minority. We all came out for the very first time, just like as it was in 1993, during the Abiola's time. A Muslim ticket, nobody bothered, nobody cared, because the people who came together were credible. Muslim ticket has become an issue today because of the two people pairing together. But then in 1993, we didn't care. Same spirit, we resonated in the obedience struggle. And like a wildfire, it started burning, and then people started decamping. Today, those of us who started have decided to make it our duty to ensure that the tenets of character, competency, and capacity upon which that brand was created is sustained. That is why people like me will not accept Labour Party top to bottom. I want to say here that parties do not make good people or good politicians or good public servants, but individuals make themselves so. Do you get what I just said? Individuals make themselves so. Peter, if he had remained in the PDP, we would have still voted for him. We would have still branded the movement, after him. But they declined him, so we decided to now follow him wherever he went. There was a time we begged the PDP to give us Peter Obi and got in exchange 10 million votes at a time. They thought we were joking. But unknowingly to them that the world has really moved on. The world has really gone ahead of them. That today, in the era of IT revolution, mobilization is possible without people meeting together. They thought we were just on the internet, unknowingly to them that robots, most times, do not really operate all these gadgets accurately. Behind every tweet and every chat and every message and every SMS, there is a hand, there is a person, there is a life, there is a spirit. Now, we fell into a certain confusion when the growth and credibility Peter brought to Labour could not be managed. The wrong people grabbing tickets and the right people being denied. But we decided to hold on to Peter, and the agreement was that Peter unanimously remained our adopted presidential candidate, but across party we shall select gubernatorial candidates and parliamentary candidates. To see to it now today that some people believe that the Obidient as a brand or as a family, as a political movement can be hijacked by the Labour Party is something most of us will not accept. That is the reason why, just the way democracy has made it possible, I choose in Enugu to look at the character of the people coming out, the competency of the people coming out, and the capacity of the people coming out. Barrister Peter Mbah of the PDP met those requirements for me. Just like Frank Weke Jr. met those requirements for Aisha. But amazingly, I endorsed Barrister Peter Mbah, and then what followed was series of reactions to the point that hireling, strangers, illegitimate heirs were now beginning to tweet. And I make reference to Kenneth Okonkwo. Kenneth Okonkwo has been an APC person. He left the APC on the 7th of July and they came to labor on the 23rd and the 23rd of August 2022, just a few months back. That same person tweeted to discredit me, alleging that I have not been part of the series of campaigns of the Labour Party. Therefore, I am not part of the Labour family, Obidient family. Kenneth Okonkwo, I will address you. I'm just going to spare you because of series of people that have called from different parts of the world appealing to me to please spare you. I would have sent you today on permanent political exile and political oblivion so that you know that there are certain things you dare not say. But do you know what? I will spare you because of Peter Obi. I respect him. He won. He's my president. We are going to retrieve that mandate. But except for people like him, or for someone like him, and for people like Bayo Adebajo, an old man of 95 that just put his life on the line. People like Chief E.K. Clark, a man going to 96. And people like Dr. Beatrice Pogu, Simon Okeke, Professor Patu Tomi. People like Falana, who at certain time have attended my programs that I did for Peter Obi and for the Obidient Revolution. I formed the 40 million ballot movement that adopted the major support groups of Peter Obi. Where were you? You were acting films, jumping from set to set, and talking big grammar. And I was risking my life in Kebbi, Yobe, Borno, Adamawa, Gombe, Katsina, Sokoto, and other places. Just when the rice we had prepared had become so cooked, if I'm suffice to put it that way, you jump the queue and you beg to be made a spokesperson because you wanted to just use your cheap popularity to acquire a fame you don't deserve. But let me now bust your bubble. Go and ask my friend and brother, Dr. Tanko Yunusa, a friend of 12 years, the former chairman of the NCP. In fact, last December, he spent his Christmas in my village. I came from the same village with the national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Saburi. Dr. Tanko Yunusa was one of the resource persons, get this, who spoke at my event in Oka, Anambra State, on the 5th of October 2020. Well, I launched on a large scale the advocacy for Igbo presidency. We are talking about 3 years ago. That event was co-chaired by Chukwuemeka Ezefe, the former governor of Anambra State and the chairman of the Igbo Elder Consultative Forum, together with Atiku's best friend, Ben Obi, who, being a BOT member of the PDP, did not only co-chair, but also spoke at that conference. Dr. Tanko Yunusa, the presidential spokesperson, the authentic spokesperson to Peter Obi and the Obi Datil Presidential Campaign Council, was also a speaker at that conference, where we talked about the need for power rotation. Let me tell you, when the Southern governor sold out, I led the ethnic nationalities at Fenifere, Pananja Delta Forum, Middle Belt Forum, to the chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, His Excellency Akeredolu, of the governor of Ondo State. These are facts. Go and ask Mimiko what I did. Go and ask FFK is today with. FFK today is with the APC. Ask him about me. You can't write the history of the evolution of Peter Obi from where he was to where he is now without mention. In fact, the best person to even educate and tutor you is Peter Obi himself. Most of the biggest events that ever gave him that good name today, I created, funded, and hosted. Talk to people. Look, let me say to you, when they constituted the campaign council, I asked Obaze to remove my name. I don't look for cheap popularity. You're talking about me not attending rallies. Look, kings do not attend ceremonies and parties anyhow. You know what kings do? They stay where they stay and they command things. We make things happen, and Peter Obi is the man we projected. Good enough, he has become our own president-elect, and he stood for competency and capacity. Don't misrepresent him. Dr. Tanko, you are my friend. Educate Kenneth Okonkwo. Any BIM, all the people that have called me from different parts of the world, asking me not to hit him so hard, I spare you because of them. I respect every one of them. And I pray you also respect yourself.
Thank you.
The last thing I want to say is this. I stand for Obi. I am with Obi. I have been for Obi. Not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, but above. And he is my president. He won the election. We shall fight with him and stand with him to retrieve that mandate. But that does not overrule the fact that we cannot also encourage him to elect people that we serve with him when eventually he retrieves his mandate. Because Obi needs people like Barrister Peter Mbah to be able to drive a functional leadership that we actually make Nigeria get translated to the Nigeria of our dream. I want to thank every one of you, and to you who has a PVC and you are from Enugu State. Again, look where. Look at character. Look at competency. Look at capacity. Don't vote because the person is for Labour Party. Vote because the person is able to represent your state and bring to your state and to the benefit and the advantage of your people as the indigenes of Enugu, the good things that will associate with the good leadership of His Excellency Peter Obi as the President of Nigeria. God bless you all. Thank you.